This is lesson 5-1, midsegments of triangles. Let's first start with the definition of a midsegment. A midsegment is a segment connecting the midpoints of two sides of a triangle. So it's a segment connecting the midpoints of two sides of a triangle. So when you think of midsegment, you see MID in midsegment, it's a segment connecting the midpoints of two sides of a triangle. And then we're going to learn the triangle midsegment theorem. The triangle midsegment theorem says if a segment joins the midpoints of two sides of a triangle, then the segment is parallel to the third side and is half as long. So a segment joins the midpoints of two sides of a triangle. That segment is parallel to the third side and is half as long as the third side. Okay, so I'm looking at my picture right here, triangle ABC. I can tell that D is the midpoint because AD is congruent to DC, and E is the midpoint of BC because BE is congruent to EC. So this segment right here, DE, is considered a midsegment. So if that segment joins the midpoints of two sides of a triangle, so this side DE is parallel to the third side and it's half as long as the third side. So D is the midpoint of CA, as we said, because you can see by the notation, and E is the midpoint of BC. So if that's true, then DE is parallel to AB, and DE is half of AB. So whatever AB is, if AB was 20 inches, then DE is going to be half of that, 10 inches. So that's my triangle midsegment theorem. D is the midpoint of CA, E is the midpoint of BC, therefore DE is parallel to AB, so that segment is parallel to the third side and it's half as long as the third side. DE is going to be half of AB, so we'll be able to do some algebraic problems with that. Let's start by just naming some parallel segments. So I'm going to look at triangle DEF and I want to name the parallel segments. So RS, right here, ST and TR are all midsegments. ST is a midsegment also. They don't always have to go horizontal like RS. So ST is a midsegment and TR is a midsegment because they're all midpoints on each of those sides. So if they are midsegments of triangle DEF, now you guys are going to fill in the rest of this. RS is parallel to what line? Remember, it's parallel to the third side. And then I have ST, so ST right here is going to be parallel to that third side, ED. And then I have TR is parallel to the last side, EF. Okay? And then we're going to find some lengths. So we're going to use our midsegment theorem rule. In triangle QRS, TU and B are midpoints. What are the lengths of TU, UB, and QR? So TU, right here, TU, is going to be half of SR. Remember TU, it's parallel to that third side and it's half the length of the third side. So SR is 40, TU is going to be half of that. So you're going to figure that out and write the answer. UB, right here, UB is half of QS. Okay, because it's opposite QS. It's parallel to QS and it's half of that. So QS is 50. UB is going to be half of that. And the last one that I want to know is QR. Now this time TB is given to us. So that midsegment is given to us. The midsegment is half of that third side. So this time I'm finding the opposite side. So I'm going to have to double the 30. Okay, so you're going to write down the answer to those and we'll check them when you come in to class tomorrow. And we just have one last problem. Okay, and that's an environmental science example. So a geologist wants to determine the distance AB across the sinkhole. So we have the sinkhole right here in the photo. But you can't actually take a tape measure and swim across. So choosing a point E outside the sinkhole, she finds the distance of AE, and she finds the distance of BE, and then she finds the midpoint of AE, she calls that C, and she finds the midpoint of EB and she calls that D, and she connects DC. Okay, and then she measures DC or CD. So CD is the midsegment and CD is 46. Since it's the midsegment, sorry, then you can find the distance across that sinkhole. Remember, this length right here is half the length of AB. So if I want to find AB, I'm just going to double this 46. Okay, so figure that out and write the answer. And that's it for today.